as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers' best bet or daily package for only $2.
Hey guys, Carmine Bianco here of WagerTalk.com with another edition of Stoppage Time. This is our Champions League edition. It's a quarterfinal action, leg one this week, Tuesday and Wednesday. 4 big games. We're going to cover all 4 of them. Manchester City, Dortmund, Real Madrid, Liverpool, FC Porto, and Chelsea. And then the rematch of last year's title game, Bayern Munich and PSG. With me from Sports Memo, Pavlos, Laguretos, and from WagerTalk.com, Nick Borrman and Kevin Dolan. Let's bring them in. Kev, I'm going to go to you first. You're on a pretty damn good roll, 62.5% winners since the start of February. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, great, Carm. Another good night yesterday. Great weekend as well. So as you said, 62.5%, 25 and 15, last 40 as well. And look, as much as I enjoyed the international break, I love Champions League. So, I'm excited to talk about these games. Awesome.
And there's some good games. Nick Borrman, you must be excited. I'm not even sure if you're getting any sleep with a little one and a huge obviously, other than these 4 Champions League games, a huge golf tournament just about to kick off.
Yeah, golf roll. It's the biggest week of the year for sure with the Masters this week. So anybody interested in golf plays for the week, I do have a package up. It includes a 5% top play this week. So make sure to check that out. But things are going well. Baby actually sleeps great, so I have no problem there. We have another one on the way and due in August. So ask me again in a couple months how I'm sleeping when that comes, because that'll probably change everything. But for now, we're okay.
Yeah, you're gonna have some sleepless nights, I am sure. Another guy who has a lot of sleepless nights because he's up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning capping. I know for a fact because I've seen him online. Pavlos Laguretos, man, you were on a great roll last week. Easily smashed a 5% winner on $2 Tuesdays. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm doing great. The 5% are doing great. I've won each of my last 3. It's been actually a pretty great month, a pretty great last couple of weeks. The thing is that I also said that in the previous edition of Stoppage Time, I have 22 wins and 20 losses in my last 44. But listen, this is where it gets interesting. I have plus 24.47% ROI. That is because I hit many prop bets, usually some correct scores that I put out a lot of them, but some of them hit and they are at high odds. So we'll keep doing that in the Champions League and the Europa League in the next couple of days.
Awesome. That's what I want to hear. And let's get right to it, guys. 2 big games today with a couple EPL sides in there. Man City and Dortmund. Lines on this one. Man City minus 300. The draw is plus 450. Dortmund plus 700. The total sitting at 3. What can we say about City in this game? 2021, 23 wins, 1 loss so far in 2021. The 1 loss coming in the Manchester Derby to United. If you want to go further back into 2020, their past 34 games, 30 wins, 1 loss, 3 draws. This team is absolutely getting it done on the pitch. Dortmund, struggling a little bit, but they did get through their last round against Sevilla. 2-1 losers on the weekend at home. They continue to struggle at home, losing to Frankfurt. And in watching that game, it could have been a hell of a lot worse than 2-1. Frankfurt had many chances, couldn't finish in that final third. That's a problem that City don't have. So I'll be anxious to see what you guys have to say about this one. I'm going to go to Pavlos first on this one. Give me your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, there's something wrong with Haaland right now. Of course, there's something wrong with Dortmund lately. But the thing is that Haaland hasn't scored in any of his last 4 matches. He didn't score in any of the 3 World Cup qualifiers matches. He didn't score against Frankfurt the other day. So there is a very specific reason that this happens. The fact is that his manager is trying to sell him to some of the bigger clubs, and this is always something that distracts the player. And however, I do think that Dortmund will surprise us tonight. Maybe they'll not win, maybe they'll not get a draw, but I think that they could score here. They've been great in the first halves of their latest matches. They scored 3 against Sevilla in the first half. They scored twice against Bayern Munich. They scored against Schalke, against Gladbach on the road. So they've been dangerous on the road. And I think that this is the match that Haaland tries to, sell himself to the bigger clubs. I think he'll try to have, a good match. I think Dortmund will get in the score sheet because, the whole world is probably going to back Manchester City tonight. And I get it. I do get it. But I personally, I'm afraid to bet on Manchester City here. So I think that Dortmund have, what it takes to score here. So both teams to score looks great in my eyes.
All right. Yeah. And we're seeing it right now with Dortmund. The big players are managed by the same guy. And we're seeing it with Dortmund. They're in 5th right now. The manager's out shopping Haaland. He doesn't want the guy playing in Europa League next season. And they're 7 points off 4th spot. And it's very unlikely with, I think, 7 games to play in Bundesliga that they are going to make up those points and get into the Champions League next year. He'd rather his top guy, his money earner, where he makes the commission off of playing for a team like Man City. So maybe this is a scouting trip for the City guys. Nick, give me your thoughts on this game. And I'm noticing that the City odds, I quoted 300 to start the show, but the odds are up to minus 350 now on Man City.
Yeah, you got to imagine the money just would continue to come in on Man City. I actually looked over the weekend. I don't know if it was Saturday or whatever. The line was actually only minus 1 at one point. I think you had to pay a little bit on the juice, minus 125, but it's obviously been just moving that direction. Listen, City made work of a Bundesliga foe in the last round. They beat Mönchengladbach 4-0 in the aggregate. It's very hard not to see them winning similarly. I mean, it probably won't keep Dortmund off the score sheet in over 2 games, but very hard not to see them winning by a pretty easy scoreline over these 2 games. Right, really, if you look at it like this, we talked about City going into last weekend. I mentioned, if there's a game that they might not win or cover the spread, it might be that game against Leicester because Premier League was wrapped up. They were looking forward to this game, but Kevin and you guys also alluded to the fact that Pep is Pep, and they still went in there and won 2-0 and made easy work of Leicester. And then, Dortmund in their biggest game, most important game of the season for the league, for the Bundesliga, and giving themselves a chance at Champions League football next year, they lost 1-2 at home to Frankfurt over the weekend. I mean, now they're pretty much out. There's no way they're going to close that gap for the top 4. So just another, point that when City needs to win, they'll win. When Dortmund needs to win, they choke. And I say that as a Dortmund fan. So I don't like Dortmund in this game. Personally, it could get down to where I see it like playing out like it did with Mönchengladbach. City will probably grab a goal in the first half. Maybe they'll get 2, but they'll get another one, somewhere early or midway through the second half. And then I see them really shutting it down and focusing on the defense. I mean, they can pretty much wrap up this 2-leg tie if they just keep Dortmund off the score sheet and don't let them get an away goal. It'll be very hard for Dortmund to move on if they do not get an away goal here. And City know that. And obviously Pep knows that. He's going to be game planning for Haaland and shutting him down. So I see the game going off slowly. I see City doing their thing, eventually sneaking ahead, and then I see them really choking out Dortmund to make sure they keep them from getting that away goal. So I actually like Man City plus under 3.5 goals, the combo market. It was plus 120 when I first took it. I think it's around plus 112 or plus 113 at this point if you combo them right now. 2-0 looks like a good score line. 2-1 maybe if Dortmund, do sneak one in somewhere along the game, but I just don't see a lot of goals here. City hasn't been the team that just runs up the score this year because they've been really focused on their defense, which has been fantastic. But anything but a City win, it's hard to see here.
Yeah, 13 clean sheets in their last 20 at home. Only 1 loss. That is to United again in the Manchester Derby. Kev, I'm going to go to you the final word on this. When you look at the futures right now as well, too, City are the shortest price with a lot of good teams still left to go. You've still got Bayern in there, Liverpool, Chelsea, Porto, Real Madrid, and of course Dortmund, who they're playing. But they're plus 200 at this point, odds on to win this tournament. Give me your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, I got to go with City here myself. Dortmund, you mentioned their struggles domestically, but it's not only that. They've won just 3 of the last 12 Champions League knockout stage games as well, including 5 straight losses to English teams over that run. So, look, City are just on a monster run of form right now. And even though we've seen in the past City have had issues, Pep, at this stage of the competition, this current version of Man City right now, they look like an absolute juggernaut, and I just can't see Dortmund stopping them here. City haven't conceded in their last 706 minutes of Champions League football. That's second overall in Champions League history. Like, if anyone wants to hazard a guess in the chat as to who the number one team on that list might be, drop it down. I'll shout out the answer for the Chelsea Porto preview, but it just goes to show you how, City's level of absolute dominant defense right now, and Haaland is going to have to be at his absolute best if Dortmund are going to get anything from this game tonight, and I just don't see it. So, yeah, I got to look towards City here.
Yeah, and when you talk about how strong they've been defensively, the only team to score on them thus far in Champions League through the group stages, I believe, and the knockout stages is that Porto team that you mentioned. I think they're the only ones who have gotten a goal against them. So they've been defensive juggernauts from a team that we always think is an offensive team to see this defensively. And as Pep says, the best defense is an offense. If you have ball possession for 65 to 70 minutes, you're not going to get scored on very often. So with that said, let's move on to the second game. This is a rematch of the 2018 final. If you remember, that one went to Real Madrid 3-1 over Liverpool. Was it Karas, the Liverpool goaltender? I can't remember.
Yeah.
2 huge gaffes in that game. Obviously, the one thing that everyone remembers from that game, Sergio Ramos taking down Mo Salah. And I think he ended up with a dislocated or a broken shoulder, left the game 30 minutes into that game. Nothing to Ramos on that one. Ramos will be missing from both these games, as news also broke this late last night or early this morning that Varane will also be missing for Real Madrid. He tested positive for COVID. So a couple players on that back line for Real Madrid missing. And let's not forget, we've got, let's not cry for Real Madrid here in that sense that they're missing the defensive players when you're talking about Liverpool missing Gomez and Virgil van Dijk. So both teams missing key players. Obviously, Van Dijk and Gomez has been gone for most of the season, if not all of the season. I am going to go to Nick first on this one. Give me your thoughts on this game. Let me quickly go through the odds here. At writing last night, Real Madrid was plus 162. The draw was plus 250. Liverpool was plus 160. The total was 2.5. That line has now dropped to plus 137 on Liverpool. Real Madrid's gone up to about 185 with the news of Varane being out.
Yeah, listen, I gotta leave it to you guys on this one. I'm stuck. I can't get there on this one. I don't have it in my card. I'm not playing in any sort of way. I'm very interested to watch as a fan because I don't have a read on it. I mean, my lean would be to Real Madrid, who've just been in better form overall and just being at home and plus money. Benzema back in the lineup. They're much better offensively. He scored 7 goals in the 5 games since he came back from missing 3 or 4 games. So my lean, very light lean, is to Real Madrid, but I don't want to give information on this game to the listeners that I just do not have a read on it. So hopefully you guys can give a little more information than I can provide on this one. Sorry.
Not a problem, Nick. You always bring us valuable information, so we are very good with giving you a mulligan. Yes, Nick, the golfer, we're going to give you a mulligan on this one. Kev, I know you love following Nick on some of these, so I'm going to give you the next word on this game.
Well, Nick's not wrong in terms of how tight this game, because I have this game circled as well. It is the tightest game from a site perspective, at least, It is hard to pick a winner here. I'm not even sure if Varane's too much of a loss, to be honest, because those two absolute howlers he made against Man City last year still stick in my memory. But I bet I do quite like in this game is Karim Benzema, first goal scorer, plus 400. I like those odds. You know, Benzema, he's in phenomenal form of late. He scored 18 goals in 25 appearances for Madrid domestically this season, you know, including 8 goals over his last 6 starts as well. So it shows you the kind of form he's in right now. And he's been no slouch over in Europe either. He's netted 5 goals over his last 6 Champions League appearances, with 6 of his last 7 right-footed strikes in the Champions League being match openers as well. So I like the Frenchman to continue that form tonight. Plus 400 looks like a big price, and that'd be my lean for a prop bet in this game.
Well, I actually have a goal scorer as part of my props today, and that is Mo Salah at plus 333 to score first, and at minus 105 to score anytime. So you and I are going to battle that one out, my Irish friend. Pavlos, give me your thoughts on this game, my friend.
The first goal is going to be an own goal. So you both lose. Anyway, so yeah, I actually value Varane a lot. Real Madrid, they'll be without their 2 starting center backs. So this is going to be a tough one for Zidane. Of course, he might use Nacho, Militao, and Mendy as their 3 center backs if he chooses to go with a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2. However, Liverpool, they've learned to live with their absences. They've learned to live without center backs for like months now. So I think that they are much more ready than Real Madrid to deal with the absences in their back line. Sorry. So yeah, Real Madrid are caught between a rock and a hard place. So they have this match against Liverpool. They have the El Clásico against Barcelona in this weekend, and then they have to play against Liverpool again. So that's a really bad timing for all these matches to come, especially with 2 of your starting center backs out. So I don't expect to see a very high scoring match here, especially when teams of this caliber, when they meet against each other in this competition, especially in the later stages, we don't usually see high scores. So this could be like 2 to 3 goals, maybe a draw here. I like the draw here, actually. I really like the draw here at plus 250. So, yeah, Real Madrid, they've been great against English sides. They've only lost 3 of their last 15 matches. And Liverpool, they've been great on the road lately with 4 consecutive wins in all competitions without even conceding a single goal. So I think that we'll see a very low-scoring match here. And maybe a 1-1 draw, something like that. The draw looks really nice to me.
All right, so Pavlos says a low-scoring game, so I will take 3-1 Liverpool plus 1,800 exact score to stick it right back to him for that last comment that he made. All right, guys, it is $2 Tuesday at WagerTalk and Sports Memo. $2 Tuesday is when you can get a feature capper on both sites. Their plays that normally go for either $29 or $40, you get them for $2. And included with that play is a bunch of other promos and offers that you can take advantage of. At WagerTalk.com, it's Dave Koken. Dave is on an absolute heater in MLB. This is an MLB play that he has up for today. He was number 1 in 2020 in MLB. He's already number 1 in 2021 in MLB. I don't think he's lost a game as of yesterday. He hadn't lost a game. So you can pick up that play over at WagerTalk.com for $2, and over at Sports Memo with another MLB play is Hunter Engelhart. So 2 MLB plays up for today. You can get them each for $2 only at Sports Memo and WagerTalk.com. I've also got a soccer promo up for the guys on the show. If you head over to Sports Memo or WagerTalk.com, click on your cappers page and select a 30-day soccer all-access package, which is normally $199. Use the code SOCK70, SOCK70, and that'll knock $70 off that price. So you'll get it for $129. That's 30 days of soccer and includes all 5% plays as well. All right, with that said, let's get back to big game number 3, FC Porto and Chelsea. Okay, so this game's being played. This is obviously Porto's home game, but it is being played in Sevilla. Chelsea suffered their first loss on the weekend. I think it surprised a lot of us, but they were up 1-0 and then a red card, 2 yellows, which obviously led to a red for Thiago Silva. Sort of discombobulated this team, if you wanted to say that. 5 goals by West Brom in this game. West Brom had their number this year because I think the earlier game under Frank Lampard finished in a 3-3 draw. But this was Tuchel's first loss as Chelsea manager, so they're not too happy about that. We know about Porto. They knocked off Juventus in the last round of the knockout stages. They sit 8 points back in second place in the Premier League in Portugal, back of Sporting, and there's only about 9 games left there, so it's going to be tough for them to obviously make up those 8 games for that top spot. And they've been knocked out of both domestic cups as well too, so this is their only final remaining competition. Current line here, Porto minus 400, the draws plus 250. Chelsea minus 134. The total is a very low 2.25, which is a split line of 2 and 2.5. I'm going to go to Kev first on this one.
Yeah, Carmine, that result certainly discombobulated me anyway, because I was on Chelsea to win 1-0 in that matchup. And look, it's those early kickoffs are absolute kryptonite to a sports bettor because, you know, they're so erratic in the results, and it's something that I'm definitely, you know, avoiding from this point on. But look, as well, I just want to say Arsenal 995 minutes was the answer for consecutive minutes played in the Champions League without conceding a goal. So give yourself a pat on the back if you got that one. And yeah, this Chelsea-Porto game, as you said, takes place in Sevilla. So that's a huge advantage. Disadvantage, I should say, to Porto. Their advantage is, you know, pretty much already gone because inside the Estadio de Dragao, you'd always give them somewhat of a chance. They always play hard there, and they're traditionally a hard team to break down. So it's a bit of a shame for them here. The other funny thing we have to mention about this game as well is I just find it funny that Juventus are playing Napoli just a few hours prior over in Serie A because they must be absolutely kicking themselves looking over at this day going, what are we doing playing here? So there might be some value in that from a situational standpoint. But, you know, even without home advantage here, I just can't completely write Porto off. You know, Porto are going to have no choice but to set up defensively tomorrow night. You know, if they're going to take anything from this game, especially with their main number 9 out through suspension, Mehdi Taremi, as they simply can't look to take Chelsea on the shootout. And while Porto will need that defensive first mindset here, Chelsea are the absolute masters of it under Thomas Tuchel. You know, take away that 5-2 aberration at the weekend against West Brom, and Chelsea's defence has been absolutely lights out for the better part of this year. They have the EPL's best expected goals against average since February 1st. Just 0.53 expected goals against. Manchester City's, we've already mentioned how good their defence is 0.88. That's a full 40% less Chelsea have. So it shows you how good Chelsea have been at the back lately. And it hasn't just been in England either. In Champions League, Chelsea restricted Atletico Madrid in the last round to just 2.5 shots on target per game in that tie. So, you know, this is a team who completely shut down teams not named West Brom. And I do expect the same here on Wednesday. I already sent out the under 2.5 as a free play yesterday, minus 140. It's up to around minus 150 now, I believe. So whether you take that line or the cheaper 2.25 line, I just don't see this being a shootout either way tomorrow night, and I do like the under in this one.
Awesome. I'm going to go to Pavlos next on this one, but one last thing for Kevin. Both Kevin and I are on Chelsea in the future books, and we've got a fantastic price on them. I believe it's at 14-1 currently, and their price is 5-1. And if they get by this quarterfinals with Porto, that number is going to drop even further. They'll face the winner of the Real Madrid and Liverpool two-legged tie. So I'm pretty happy about having plus 500 right now on this side. Pavlos, give me your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, Chelsea against West Brom. I don't know what the hell happened there. They had conceded only 2 goals since Tuchel took over in 14 matches, and then they go and concede 5 against West Brom. That's just really weird. That was just an aberration. I don't expect that to happen anytime soon. So, yeah, I don't want to say a lot about this match, but when this draw was made, FC Porto against Chelsea, 2 correct scores sprang to my mind, and that's 2 correct scores that they're very usual with these 2 sides, and that is 2-1 and 1-2. Porto to win by 2-1 goes at plus 1,600, and Chelsea to win by 2-1 goes at plus 800. So I really like both those correct scores. Of course, obviously, I like the over 2.25 goals. But if I'm gonna play this match, I'm gonna play with the correct scores because traditionally Porto in the Champions League, this is one of their favorite correct scores, 2-1. Both matches against the Juventus were 2-1, and traditionally and in earlier years, it's one of the most common scores in soccer, 2-1 and 1-2. So I think I'm gonna bet on both of them tomorrow.
All right. Some more exact score prices from the master himself from Sports Memo, Pavlos Laguretos. Nick, I'm going to give you the final word on this one, but I agree with with both Kev and Pavlos in the sense of I don't know what happened on the weekend. I would think that with a 1-0 lead over West Brom and even down a man, that while the remainder of the game would have been a difficult one, allowing 5 goals, it just kind of got out of hand. And maybe it's a blessing in disguise that Chelsea finally have a loss under their belts under Thomas Tuchel. Maybe it's a good thing in that sense. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, the Zags would have liked to take a loss into that game last night, right? Get that monkey off their back. Maybe that is a good thing for Chelsea. I don't like Pavlos's correct scores here. Usually, I listen very hard to his correct score prediction because he's very good at it. But I see this game playing out very slowly, very low scoring. Kevin already hit on the fact that this is a neutral field, right? But it is still Porto's home game in terms of the away goals rule. So Porto have to be very cautious in what they allow in this match. And I believe they will play very defensive here. And we know Chelsea, besides the West Brom game, they've allowed just 2 goals over 14 games since Tuchel took over, which is just damn impressive considering, it's not like they've been playing cakewalk teams either. They were playing a lot of good, strong teams there. So Chelsea should win this game more often than not. I think it's going to be low scoring, though. I think it's going to be tighter than you think. I don't think Chelsea's going to go in there and easily win. But I like Chelsea plus under 2.5 goals. That combo price is plus 280. So it's really the only way that happens is if Chelsea wins to 0. But this pays a lot better because it takes out the options of Chelsea winning like 3-0 or 4-0. So Chelsea plus under 2.5 goals is plus 280. I think it's worth a play. The correct score, Chelsea 1-0 plus 525 is the lowest correct score out there. But I just don't see Porto. They're not going to hang over 2 legs. I mean, we all know they're lucky to be here. Juve really kicked their ass in that second leg and just could not convert that much needed third goal to put them away in regulation time. So they're lucky to be here. They know they're lucky to be here. They're going to try everything they can to keep this Chelsea team off the board for as long as possible. So it's going to be a boring match from a goal scoring perspective, but I like Chelsea. I like under. I think that's how this plays out.
Yeah, and to your point of the Juventus one, obviously as a Juventus fan, I wasn't happy about them losing, but it was either then or now because I just don't think the team is well managed. I don't think the team has, even with players like Ronaldo and Chiesa and Morata, they're just not good enough in midfield to beat any or most of these teams here. So it was either then or now. So sometimes it's better then than now in that sense. But the 2-0, the 2-0 is a scoreline that I kind of like in that game. It's plus 650 in this game, the 2-0. I do believe that at the end of the day, no disrespect to FC Porto, but they're probably going to meet the end of the line here unless Chelsea self-destruct. If Chelsea play the way they've been playing, other than this past weekend, they're going to be extremely tough to break down. They don't make many mistakes. And with that said, they're probably going to get the win. All right, let's head to the final game, a rematch of last season's final. Bayern Munich, PSG. Bayern Munich minus 115. The draw is plus 290. PSG plus 275. The total is 3. This game being played in Germany, and the minus 110, minus 115 line on Bayern Munich might have people surprised, but I think it's, obviously it's the big news here. Robert Lewandowski missing for Bayern Munich. He was injured during the international break. But despite the injury, they went to Leipzig this past weekend, got a big 1-0 win that put them 7 points clear of Leipzig. And they are likely, with 7 games left, going to repeat as title holders there. You look at PSG, they lost at home 1-0 to Lille in a battle of two teams tied top spot in League One. So they're now 3 points back. I'm going to go to, who am I going to go to first on this one? Let's go to Pavlos first on this one. I'm going to give you the first word on this game.
Yeah, of course, Bayern Munich, they're missing their best player in Lewandowski, and it's going to be hard, to substitute him. They used Choupo-Moting up front against Leipzig over the weekend. I'm not very fond of that guy anyway. He's not a very good player. But the thing is that PSG are going to have some very important absences themselves. They're going to miss both Paredes and Verratti. They are their two anchor midfielders. And they're going to miss also their two wingbacks. Kurzawa and Florenzi are both out, along with Icardi and Bernat. So I think that PSG's absences are much more crucial than Bayern Munich's. They have a huge gap to fill in the midfield, and I don't really like their substitute wingbacks. So both teams, they had really crucial matches over the weekend. Bayern Munich, of course, they beat Leipzig on the road, and they are on track for another title. PSG, they messed up and they lost to Lille, and now all hell broke loose in the French League One. So yeah, Bayern Munich, they've been great at home. They're undefeated in the last 19 Champions League matches with 18 wins and 1 draw. They have won 9 of the last 10 matches against French sides, regardless of venue. So I think Bayern Munich should have the first say in this match. I know that there are some Neymar fans out there that they're looking to, I don't know, maybe it's their season, maybe they'll win it this season. However, I think PSG, they have an inferiority complex developed over the years. They just can't win this competition. So this was the worst possible draw for PSG, and I think that they won't have many chances to do something good in Munich. So I think that's Bayern all the way here.
Bayern all the way here. That's what I like to hear, Pavlos. Nick, I am going to go to you next on this one. Give me your thoughts on this game.
PSG is just, they're perplexing to me at times. I mean, I had them this past weekend against Lille. They laid a goose egg. They lost to Nantes at home recently too. And then they go out there and they shred a team like Barcelona over 2 legs. Really, I think Pavlos mentions 2 big injuries for PSG, especially Verratti being out, is a huge loss for them. I mean, he's a lot of that midfield is so important for them as far as, transitioning from back to front, because they're definitely a fast-paced counter team, especially against these big. That's what they did against Barcelona, and that's probably what they're going to have to do against Bayern, because Bayern is definitely going to win the possession battle in this match. So without him, that changes the game big time. And of course, Lewandowski is 40% of the goal scoring for Bayern. So 2 big goal scoring teams normally. I lean to the under here for a lot of the creativity and goal-scoring prowess that's missing in this match. You can get under 3 goals right now, which, I think it could end on 3, but I don't really see it, especially in this first leg, going over the total. So I do like the under. I would lean towards Bayern still, even with Lewandowski out, just because they're still so deep and they can do exactly what they need to do to win the game. I mean, they did what they needed to against Leipzig. They basically just won the Bundesliga with that match. And they can do the same thing here against PSG and shut them down as well. So I like the under, though, as my favorite play in this one. I think it'll be low score.
All right. And I couldn't have planned this better to give the final word on this game, following Nick, to my good friend, Kevin Dolan.
Yeah, well, the guys nailed it. Look, the Lewandowski injury is the one making all the headlines. But that, for me anyway, the big red circle is PSG's Verratti injury, because that's arguably far more serious for PSG than Bayern here. We seen at the weekend, as the guy said, PSG really struggling. They lost to Lille, struggling in transition without the Italian operating. He's such a key cog in this PSG offense. As he's so good at that link-up combination play that makes PSG's offense so effective. He was there for that assisting him, but Nick mentioned that 4-1 demolition job against Barcelona. He created that first assist for Mbappe. So, his absence here is absolutely huge. Obviously, saying that you can't write off a moment of brilliance by Neymar and Mbappe here that could potentially change the game. But look, at these odds at home, I simply have to look towards Bayern here to get the job done. As the boys said, they're so stacked. So, yeah, Bayern for me on Wednesday.
All right. There you have it. 4 games in Champions League going today and tomorrow. Thursday, we are going to cover some Europa League games as they are into the same round as well, too. 4 big games there. Guys, don't forget, it's $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk and Sports Memo, where you can get the top cappers play at each site for only $2. WagerTalk, it is Dave Koken, who's on an absolute heater once again in MLB. You can get his baseball pick for only $2. And at Sports Memo, it's Hunter Engelhart, and you can get his play for $2 as well. I told you about our show promo. Use a coupon code SOCK70 to get $70 off a 30-day all-access soccer package. That includes all 5% soccer plays as well for 30 days. If you take advantage of that one, you will get mailed just before, you get an email just before the Summer Euro 2020-2021 tournament. A great deal for that tournament for all 4 cappers. And I will be giving away, I'm getting this framed this week, which I absolutely love, but to one of our customers, I am going to be giving away this Man City 2005-2006 Cristiano Ronaldo signed jersey. So that was up for grabs, as you see the signature there, to one of the guys. Smash that like button. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you Thursday, 10 a.m.
Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers' best bet or daily package for only $2.